Americans of Reddit. What places in America should foreigners avoid at all cost? Steaming acidic hot springs in Yellowstone. Avoid going to one location thinking another location across the country is a short trip. If you're in a national park, listen to what the caution signs say and don't venture off of paths. One is because of wildlife and the other is because humans don't need to ruin everything in nature just to get a photo. Also, don't fall into the Grand Canyon. You will die. Anywhere with a rainforest cafe and a wax museum on the same street is a tourist trap. Edit. I love how many people keep guessing what city I am talking about and no guess has been the same. Northern why? Because that's where I live and I don't like people. Gary, Indiana. Americans should avoid it as well. The deserts of the Southwest, unless you're prepared for it and understand the dangers of that environment. It isn't uncommon for us to get folks from Europe, typically Germany for some reason, who decide to go hiking at the worst times of the day without enough water. Some of them die. It's really easy to get dehydrated and possibly die even in safe areas, and the danger can sneak up on you. And #X200B. Edit. Hey, wow, I didn't expect this comment to blow up. Let it be said here that I love and welcome our overseas tourists. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate the opportunity to recommend restaurants and local sites because Egypt to see my home through new eyes. I'm very much a hospitality-focused person, and can really geek out when I'm asked for advice by an out-of-towner. Edit 2. No, seriously, I like Germans. I've had a couple of close German friends, and have family living full-time in Germany at present. They are neat people. No, I have no idea why they hike around in the desert like that do. Death Valley in the summer, especially if you consider yourself a strong hiker, and live in a cooler climate. It has that name for a reason. The hot springs in Yellowstone are not hot tubs, do not swim in them. We should really have a thread asking Americans where non-Americans should visit. Americans generally travel within the US, so we know the best places to go. Avoid large chain restaurants. The best food in America comes from small owner-operated businesses. Pueblo, Colorado. Don't hike into the wilderness of Colorado, especially 14ers, without knowing wilderness survival and responsibilities. Tourists die on our mountains and in Rocky Mountain National Park all the time. Do your research. Altitude is no joke. Trenton, New Jersey. It's the state capital, there is a good museum. But it looks like a bombed-out looted shithole, and I won't even stop at red lights while in Trenton. The Kensington area of North Philadelphia. Don't. Just don't. Anywhere south in the summertime. It's too uckin' hot. What sounds like complete bullshit but is actually true. There are more tigers in captivity in the US than in the wild worldwide. Orcas are natural predators of moose. In Alaska, the moose swim between islands. Orcas nab them. Clouds weigh hundreds of thousands of pounds. Paint on a plane can add 600 to 1,200 pounds to the weight of the aircraft. If sound could travel through space, the roar of the sun would be deafening even though it's 93 miles away. 14 years before the Titanic sank, a fictional story was written by a man named Morgan Robertson. In the story, the ship was described as the largest ever built at the time, same as the Titanic. It was also woefully short on lifeboats, and it also struck an iceberg and sank. The ship in the story was also a triple-screw propeller liner, and it was named the Titan. Sharks have existed on Earth for longer than tree shave. The longest manned, refueled flight in history was 64 days long. The aircraft used was a Cessna 172. All the planets in our solar system can fit between Earth and the Moon. No one born after 1935 has set foot on the Moon. There were mammoths after the Great Pyramids were built for 500 years. There are 7 US states that have laws saying at heists can't hold office. Tumors can have hair and teeth. For women giving birth to twins, the longest recorded time between the first twin being born and the second is 90 days. Tampa, Florida has never reached 100 degrees. 50 Shades of Grey was a result of 9/11. Gerard Way witnessed the 9/11 attacks from a boat on his way to work in NYC. As an outlet for what he saw, has started My Chemical Romance the next day. Stephenie Meyer was a fan of MCR and their music was used as inspiration for the Twilight books. 50 Shades of Grey was originally a Twilight fanfiction before being changed to be its own thing. Bonus fun fact. When making the Twilight movies, the production reached out to MCR work on music for them. Not only did they refuse, they also made the song Vampire Money in response. One day on Venus is longer than 1 year on Venus. Edit. Clarification. It takes Venus 225 Earth days to complete one revolution around the Sun. However, Its rotation is so slow that one Venusian day takes 243 Earth days to complete. Edit 2. Further clarification and grammatical fixes. What is the stupidest thing you have ever done to try to be cool? Got pulled over for playing my car stereo too loud. Took the ticket, turned it back up. Took another ticket, turned it back up. Took a third ticket, turned it back up. Spent the night in jail. Smoked cigarettes. Spilled my drink to hide that I iced my pants. Was too cool to say I needed a bathroom. Edit. Before one more of you tell me that was actually smart, it was not. The problem was that it was November. We were outside drinking and smoking to hide from our parents. So when I did the quick thinking how to hide my wet pants, I forgot that pee is warm, and it was a cold night. So my pants were kind of steamy lol. I was 22 and a bit drunk woman shrugging. Not stupid, just mean and regret it. Some of the popular kids were being my friend, or just pretending to be, I don't know. I stole one of the nice teacher's candy bars out of her cupboard. I didn't get caught, so I saw her take out the empty box and look around the room disappointed. Felt like garbage. When I was in 3rd grade, I climbed a tree to get a friend's kite down. I had a crush on her. When I was up pretty high, a branch broke, I fell and broke my arm. I went home acting like everything was cool and cried like a itch as soon as I got home. When I was 8, my sister had her friends over, all teenagers, and trying to be cool, I jumped on the trampoline in front of them and told them I'd do a backflip. I'd never done a backflip, so I landed on my neck, bounced off the trampoline and broke my wrist. Went to a party and chugged 6 Mike's Hard Lemonades and then threw up for several hours. Nobody else at the party was even a little drunk. Tried shotgunning a beer in front of my crush. I sneezed midway through and the beer came out my nose. Hurt really bad. Had my mullet cut off but left a rat tail, then had it braided. What's a Google search that can unexpectedly get you arrested? Adam Savage got a call from the FBI because he sent on email to the wrong recipient. The email referenced thermal detonators, which was a Star Wars prop or something. He thought that the FBI was a prank caller. How to make a bomb and forgetting to add in Minecraft. When I was deployed to the Middle East, I was going through a leadership course and I was given the subject of C4 to do a 15-minute presentation of. I googled how it's made, how it works, how to make it more efficient, different ways it can be used. It dawned on me that I was looking all this up from AIP address in the Middle East and I thought for sure I was on some type of watch list. I did some software development job. At one point I caught myself googling, how to kill a child if its parent is dead. Yep, forgot to add, process, after child. When you jamming on your guitar but need to check how to finger a minor, so you slap that into Google. As somebody who has studied law, I have looked up so much stuff that would be fishy if I weren't a law student. If that didn't get me arrested on searching alone, I don't know what will, e.g. Drug street value, age of consent laws, people smuggling, admissible evidence in court. Example. How do I, blank, the president? Fill in the blank about 100 times and you'll surely be on someone's radar. People who slept with a coworker, what happened after? Fun. Highly recommend if you have a job. Do not recommend if you have a career. I had a supervisor that I really hit it off with and had great chemistry. As soon as they found out we were dating, she got fired and immediately found a better job. We've been married for almost 13 years now. Edit. I feel I should clarify a little bit while still keeping the details as vague as possible because quite a few people worked there. Some might even be on Reddit. Anybody that worked in that building would know who I am immediately because it was quite the topic of conversation, for she was my boss in the sense that if she told me something needed taken care of, I was expected to take care of it. She didn't actually have the power to fire me if our relationship went south, but she probably could have gotten me fired if she had been that type of person. We worked there for 2 years before anything remotely physical happened. Our lunch breaks lined up. After a few conversations, we became friendly and started spending most of that hour shooting the hit with each other. I was crushing on her hard, but didn't think she'd be interested in dating one of the janitors, so I didn't say anything in an effort not to make things weird at work. One day I let it slip to one of the other janitors that I had a crush on her. He thought it would be hilarious to immediately go and tell her what I said. The next day, she asked me if I had really said that. I was really embarrassed but admitted that I had said it. She basically told me she was feeling the same way and gave me her number. 11 months later, we were married. She had to fire me. Poor performance. Dated discreetly and after 4 years we got engaged. We then both told our supervisors we were leaving in summer. At our last meeting, as they were doing their goodbye lunch for both of us with about 30 coworkers, they had to say a few words. I went first and said I was moving to a new city. Then it was my fiance's turn and she said she was also moving to that city with me because we're engaged. It was glorious. We are happily married for 13 years and have an awesome daughter. Life is good. We were both working as actors in a small film, cast as romantic leads. She noticed I got tense when we had to kiss. I was fighting for control of my oneer because she had real big oobs, and suggested we go on a date to practice kissing. We played minigolf and practiced kissing. Then we continued practicing in her car in the parking lot after the minigolf place closed until a cop came to investigate. Then we got a hotel room and practiced with her stuff. I guess I'm a slow learner because she's still giving me remedial lessons. I slept with my boss back in '93. She instigated it. She's sitting beside me. 30 years later and 2 adult kids. Worked out. Edit. I should add we did not care for each other at first. It was definitely not a case of, will they, won't they, but more of a, will he quit or won't he? Funny how life works. We moved in together, got engaged, bought a house and had a baby. Don't let a job get in the way of your life.